Bro, that's freaking insane. That's got to be like 100 and something people on 1, 2, 3, 3 racks. I don't see no mats, no nothing. No way this can be like where they're actually housed at, dog. No way.
Suddenly, you're hit with the intense gaze of dozens locking onto you.
Look at them all mugging, flexing their set. They out there sizing the boys.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testa with multiple cases before the court.
Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy E.I. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration. The world's toughest prison in El Salvador? Bro, we gotta check this out.
All right, we're gonna go in here.
Even as I'm stepping through these doors,
En la misma celda.
I don't fully grasp what we're about to walk into.
Bro, that's freaking insane. That's gotta be like 100 and something people on 1, 2, 3, 3 racks. I don't see no mats, no nothing. No way this can be like where they're actually housed at, dog. No way.
Suddenly, you're hit with the intense gaze of dozens locking onto you.
Look at them all mugging, flexing their set. They out there sizing the boys.
These men described as the worst of the worst, tattooed with reminders of El Salvador's dark past. It's tense and uncomfortable, but here, officials say comfort isn't meant to exist.
There's no mattresses, there's no sheets. You've got a toilet over here for them to go to the bathroom. You've got this basin here that they use to bathe themselves, and then you can...
Dang, all right then. They said no mattress, no sheets, and that this is apparently where they live at then, because they definitely just showed a little bathing area, and there's nothing but a little freaking section of water, a bucket, and I'm assuming the toilet. I wonder if it even has like pipes for it to flush, or if it's just a hole. Man, that sucks. Forever Convict family, listen, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do so and share this channel with anybody who enjoys prison content. But also, if you want to see some fire HBO style prison documentaries of my day-to-day experience from my very first day in prison, you have got to become a member to this channel to the all access tier, and you will unlock the most fire videos. I'm telling you to check it out. You will not be disappointed.
You can see there's a barrel of water that they can drink from.
This is a rare look inside.
Dang, that's a compound. Look at that. That's freaking huge, bro. That's a high max security prison for real. But also take note what they said, the little barrel which they can drink water out of. How sanitary is that? Dang.
El Salvador's Terrorism Confinement Center, known as SECOT.
So this is the Terrorism Confinement Center. In other words, for pretty much, I'm sure there's high-ranking gang members or people who've been sentenced to life for sure, and people that are trying to keep out of their country and society.
And he says there's always somebody standing here in front of the cells, and then if you look up,
I always find it funny whenever like CNN or any big like media network does these like prison documentaries. They always send like I'm not trying to like be rude to this guy and say that he's weird, but like kind of like feminine, you know what I mean? Like you'd think they would send like a macho man, but they send like kind of like the feminine guys.
there's another corridor with more security personnel. Luz 24 horas. 24/7 light.
The prisons.
If you notice, some of the officers got masks and some of them don't. I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's for the show, for the documentary, but honestly, bro, because these guys probably still got so much ties and like into society. I'm not sure how though, but because they're so tied in, you know, obviously because they're set, their gangs, whatever. These people, the officers, are definitely in jeopardy of their lives in society. So they're probably trying to hide their identity, not only from the cameras, but probably on a day-to-day in a prison too.
sits like an isolated fortress, nestled in mountainous terrain, about an hour-and-a-half drive from the capital. Even with government officials on board with us, we're stopped a mile out.
Oh, okay. He's gonna inspect bags now too.
So any prison is always way out in the woods, but the fact that they're like, these are military soldiers with like ARs, assault rifles, you know what I mean, bulletproof vests, fully geared out, is pretty crazy.
Okay, we're clear to get back in.
Only to hit another checkpoint. Approaching the main gate, our cell signals vanish.
They want to do a full search on us before we enter.
You heard that? Cell signals vanish. That means they got a scrambler. And in the U.S., they barely got them, but they do got them at some institutions, I hear. And that means that like people can't use, even if they got phones in the prison, they can't use them. But obviously here, because it's a terrorist cell unit, obviously they got it. And even if they were to get a phone, I wonder, man, I doubt they got phones here, bro. If they got a scrambler, the phones don't work, and how high risk it looks, I doubt they got phones.
SECOT's director, Belarmino Garcia, greets us and takes us through a rigorous security check.
Wedding ring. So this is like airport security on stick.
I wonder if they're gonna strip search them. Like, yo, in the U.S., they would never strip search a volunteer. Pat search, X-ray, all that, machines, whatever. But I wonder if they're gonna strip search them.
Steroids. Anything that we're carrying with us. Móvil aquí. Teléfono. Okay. Anything we're carrying with us has to go there. And then there's a body scan that continues on the other side. Okay. Shoes off.
Nah, he's just getting a pat down. But they got the full body scan, so they don't even really need to strip him. The body scan is actually more accurate because they can see if he's got anything up his, you know what.
This one back on. Gracias.
Once cleared, we tour the vast campus, starting with the armory.
He says they have to constantly remind themselves that they're dealing with essentially the worst of the worst.
Dang, bro, they got a lot of weaponry, bro. That's crazy for a prison. What if they overtook that, though, and they got all the weapons right there?
That reason, they need to be ready for whatever risks they might face. It's been equated to 7 football stadiums. It's almost multiple prisons.
7 football stadiums. That's a huge prison. They're warehousing these guys. Dang, bro. I wonder how many people are locked up there. 7 football stadiums. That's crazy.
Within the prison, you can see off to the distance, there's 3 different rings as they describe. The far end, you have one that's 9 meters high of concrete, and then above that, 3 meters of electrified fencing.
At 15,000 volts.
15,000 volts.
Electric fence, 15,000 volts. No one's jumping that thing. Forever convict. What does that mean? That means I am not ashamed of the amount of time that I did in prison. Why? Because that's what God used to radically transform my life. So if you're like me and you're unashamed to share your testimony, how God transformed your life in the chain gang, man, go ahead and cop your Forever Convict tee. The link is in the description. Check it out.
More than 1,000 security personnel, guards, police, and military are stationed on site. Inmates are assigned to one of 8 sectors.
The director tells me
3 different task force: guards, military, and police.
Inmates, once they're inside one of these sectors, they never leave. Everything is done within, including doctors, as well as legal visits or court hearings.
Each sector holds more than 2.
Bro, you heard that? They never leave the building, ever. No yard, no nothing. Programs, which I'm sure is like chapel services. They ain't mentioned school. I doubt they got school. But legal visits, all that is within the building. No outside, no sun. Bro, that's torture.
24 large cells.
Roughly 80 inmates per cell, but it can fluctuate.
Okay, yeah, 80, not over 180. That's still, bro, that's a lot, dog. And they're sleeping side by side on the metal racks, bro. That's crazy.
Most bear the markings of the gangs that held this nation hostage for decades, committing brutal acts of violence.
You gotta kill people, you gotta rob, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
You have to do those things.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
And if you didn't do those things, you wouldn't.
You wanna be a gangbanger.
We meet 41-year-old Marvin Vasquez, shackled and heavily guarded.
What gang were you part of?
MS-13.
And do you have any gang affiliations?
Yeah, I'm tattooed up.
I feel like that was such a dumb question. He was gonna ask me if he was in the gang. He told him yes, MS-13. Then he asked the same question. Is he gang affiliated?
What is this?
Crazy criminal. Say crazy criminals. Yeah, I made this click in 2011.
You made the click.
Yeah,
You were a gang leader.
yeah.
What is it like to
Bro, they got such a weirdo. Oh my gosh, you made the click. So you were the gang leader. Oh.
live here?
No disrespect.
It's
no
probably-
disrespect. No disrespect. I'm just clowning.
Not a hotel 5-star, but they give you the 3 times the food. They give you some programs. You go to.
Yo, I couldn't see the trays, but it looked like they had some all right portions.
You go to.
Let's see. Let's look at it real quick. I'm sorry, I just want to look at this food real quick. See, look at that. That looks like a full tray, man. And I think that's beverage. Yeah, it's got to be like their drink. I don't think it's soup. Maybe that is soup.
3 times the food. They give you some programs. You go to do exercise.
Ejercicio nosotros lo podemos repetir siempre.
Some church religion programs too.
All right, so they get to do PT, personal training. They get some chapel services. That's dope. Praise God.
But that's limited to just 30 minutes a day. The other
30 minutes a day. 23 and the other 23 and a half hours is the rest on lockdown. 23 and 1. Crazy. Shout out to my dog, 23 and 1. Dang, bro, that's crazy.
23 and a half hours, they're kept inside and locked up.
For inmates who get violent with other prisoners or guards,
Confinement.
We're going to close the door. I just want to get a sense of.
He told him to close the door. He wants to get a sense of it. Man, tell him to put you in the cell block for 24 hours. And the police will be like, look, man, we got you. No one's going to hurt you if he wants to get a full experience. But look, they don't got no lights in there, bro.
Wow.
solitary confinement awaits.
The only light you get is through this hole. And they can be in here for 15 days, potentially. All right, I'm ready to get out.
All right, bro, that's crazy. All right, so obviously, like in the States, in the U.S., you can be in confinement, 60, 90. You can be like in confinement for years, as far as like CM, control management. You could be in a cell by yourself for literally 20 years, bro. Probably the rest of your life. People do it because they just don't want to be around people, and they kill people, or they, attack officers, whatever. They just never get out of control management. Confinement, the shoe, whatever you want to call it. But here, bro, they don't got no lights. So that's got to be insane mental torture, bro. And that's why he only said 15 days potentially. Because I'm sure this after maybe 2 days, dog, you be losing your mind. Bro, you want to test your mental capacity? Bro, that right there has got to be torture. That is inhumane, bro. Shout out Unlock the Box, man. Stop the humane injustice of solitary confinement.
Critics point specifically to the prison's strict control and isolation of inmates, calling it a violation of human rights.
The director brought up that a lot of folks will raise concerns from a human rights perspective and an abuse of human rights, that he's calm hearing that because he sees it day to day, the process they go through to maintain, as he sees it, proper punishment.
While you're cut off from society here, whispers of life on the outside make their way in.
I've heard about it, that it's a new El Salvador, it looks different.
That new El Salvador has emerged under President.
Everyone's got their opinion, bro. The warden himself said he views it as proper punishment. People fail to realize, dog, like I'm not saying like this is a universal stamp for everybody, but bro, people make one bad decision, bro. It happens. And they'd be punished for the rest of your life at that capacity is crazy. But this guy's been locked up forever. He's talking about he hears that the country's a new El Salvador.
Nayib Bukele, who took office in 2019 and declared a controversial state of emergency more than 2 years ago. It sparked an aggressive crackdown on crime. We see that firsthand as some 2,500 police and soldiers deploy into one neighborhood.
It's going to go on through the night for however long it takes for them to root out any suspected.
Bro, that's crazy. 2,500 soldiers are just sweeping neighborhoods to look for suspected criminals. I wonder how many people just get caught up and accused of being gang affiliated that got no ties whatsoever.
Criminal elements.
Late last week, as the U.S. State Department lowered its travel advisory for El Salvador, citing a significant reduction in crime, it also warned that Bukele's emergency measures allow authorities to arrest anyone suspected of gang activity and suspends constitutional rights.
Bro, did you hear that? It allows the government, that law that they passed for the police, military, whoever, to arrest any suspected criminal. That means they can just say that they think that you're in the gang and they're gonna arrest you, but that's crazy. My bad for the ads.
Hola. Juan Carlos, yo soy David.
Juan Carlos tells me he was wrongfully held for 5 months at a lower security prison earlier this
See, look at that. Wrongfully held for 5 months. They probably suspect him of being a gang.
year. He says the poor conditions led to an infection in his leg.
He said he was lumped in and assumed to be part of a gang, and he said in part because
It's tattoos. That's why.
of how he looked. He had long hair, he said he had a long beard, and he says he has tattoos, but he points out that for him these are just artistic expressions. They have nothing to do with
Bro, living in a country like that, bro, you could never get tattoos. Oh my gosh, definitely not. It's not worth your freedom.
being part of a gang.
The Bukele administration has acknowledged that innocent people have been swept up in the crackdown, and they say more than 7,000 have already been released. They see it as collateral damage.
Did you hear that? 7,000 people wrongfully incarcerated. Dang.
And Juan Carlos, while frustrated with the tactics,
Also, too, if you did not know, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can check out my music wherever you listen to music. I do have another podcast, and I got a whole nother YouTube channel with my music videos with that other podcast as well. Let Me Talk, bro. And that is my official artist channel on YouTube, E.I. the King. Check me out on all socials. Until next time, it's your boy, E.I. the King.